Welcome back. So to everybody who's going, oh, you should take the day off. Well, it's Monday, so we have the Patreon and members live stream today, which I have to schedule. It's going to be later on this evening because we can do that because there's no hockey tonight. And then, there's the treadmill I do every day, and it's still a pretty full day for me. The one game not being scheduled. All right, so Jim Rutherford with a press conference today, and Canuck fans, the bar was low, right? So Jim Benning a month ago was out there going, I don't know what the problem is. I don't know why we aren't winning. Rutherford's coming forward and going, look, I'm seeing that there's holes in the lineup, and there are, and I think we've seen that throughout the season, and I think also the expectation is, while they're 4-0 under Boudreau, it's not going to last this way. They're not going to keep winning every game. It is fun to watch them win, to the point where, fans locally are upset with Thomas Drance for a segment he did last night on Sportsnet. I didn't get upset by it. I watched it. I was like, it's interesting. It's stats stuff, and the stats have gotten mildly better under Boudreau. And again, it shows how that fine line is between winning and losing, and people just took it as being negative. I don't know. But anyways, Rutherford today is saying he has 40 candidates that he's looking at, and he's got them all segmented into orders and certain categories, and I hear that and I think that sounds good. So he's got all these, basically there's some who've been GM before, there's some who are currently assistant GMs. That's where it gets tricky, because not all current assistant GMs are going to be available for interviews, and then there's all the others as well. So he's going through the process, right? And he's looking for young players. He's not intending to move picks, especially early ones. He's not looking at moving any early picks. Might be willing to part with later rounds, which would mean rounds 5, 6, or 7, that kind of thing. But he wants younger players. He wants the team to get younger. It's a crazy idea. He also said that they're not fast enough. I can't disagree with him there. You look at some of the best teams in the league and how they succeed. And speed. Speed is absolutely the number one factor. That transition game, that when they're pinned down in their own zone and then the puck gets turned over and they cruise the other way and they score. It's absolutely fantastic to watch, and the Canucks could use some more speed. So I'm with Rutherford on that. And it's weird because it is a 180 from what we were hearing a month ago, which was, I don't know. So we had a GM that was here for 8 years that said, I don't know why we can't win, and a GM who's been here for a week saying, well, the team seems to be a little slow, which is true. Absolutely true. Anton Khudobin on waivers today for Dallas. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's going to end up with Texas. His numbers this year were poor. He has a high cap hit, and he's 35 years of age, 35 or 36. So I think for Khudobin, I think this was the right move by Dallas, and I was really concerned. I was really concerned that they were going to end up with Holtby and Khudobin, and they'd send Ottinger down. But they're making the right call. Ottinger's the better of the two right now between himself and Khudobin, and Dallas is the team that would like to make the playoffs this year. So as rough as it sounds, this is not the first time Anton Khudobin's been put on waivers and sent to the AHL. When Anton Khudobin's career is done, it's going to be a lot of fun looking back at his career, because it's gone through these ebbs and flows the whole way along. He's been through a lot of organizations, and that 2020 run to the final was fantastic. But he's not really a starting goaltender outside of that, and so I'm kind of impressed Dallas made the right move here. It's not an easy move either, because just, from the perspective that it wasn't that long ago he was leading them to a Stanley Cup final, and now he's on waivers. But it's the right move for the team. Blake Wheeler, the Jets saying that Wheeler's going to be out for weeks. They don't have an exact time frame yet. Tests are ongoing, so it's his knee. It buckled in the wrong direction. Against the Vancouver Canucks. It didn't look great. He did skate off under his own power, but if it's ligament, and it's likely ligament related, that could still keep him out for a while, right? So we'll see how long Wheeler's out and what that does to the picture of things. I've seen people asking, why is the NHL the only league dealing with protocols and outbreaks? They're not. The NFL had 37 positive tests today. The NBA, dealing with an outbreak of their own, has delayed the Bulls-Raptors game tonight. They're still going on. The difference is the NFL's just like, we'll just power through it. When you've got rosters as big as the NFL does, it makes some sense. The NHL also, you have a lot of players in really close quarters for long periods of time, so it makes sense to me that the NHL would have more trouble than, say, baseball, where you can keep people at a relatively decent distance apart. And so, yeah, this is just how things are going on with the sports world right now, and still navigating it, right? So the Florida Panthers have claimed Johansson on waivers from the Avalanche. Uh, I don't know how many games he's going to get into with the Florida Panthers. And again, I'm kind of surprised because I thought, based on how he played last week, and it wasn't a great week for Johansson last week, to the point where I think Anunen's kind of passed him on the depth chart, at least right now. I'm kind of surprised Florida picked him up, but I'm guessing Florida saw something there and they said, all right, well, we'll pick him up. Is Knight out? Like, I haven't seen anything about that, or Bobrovsky, as far as I know, is okay, so it's an oddity. Braden Point today skating in a non-contact jersey, so he's still a ways out, but at least he's on track to return. Bogosian likely returns to action tomorrow, along with Cirelli, as I reported in the video this morning. So for Tampa, things are definitely getting better. Bogosian's had a very good year when he's been in the lineup. The offense is there, which is odd because when he was drafted initially, way back, that was seen as being a big part of his game, that he'd be a good defenseman, two-way, and could be a beast, and never really turned out. And now, at this stage of his career for Tampa, I would argue he's looked like what he was advertised when he was drafted all those years ago by the Atlanta Thrashers. Ryan Ellis. So he's only played a handful of games for Philadelphia. He's getting closer to return. He had an MRI today. And so depending on the results of that MRI, he may be set. That hopefully will mean that he makes a return sooner rather than later. And Farabee, speaking of sooner rather than later, was in limited capacity. So he's wearing a non-contact jersey at practice as well. And that's ahead of schedule. So Farabee may be back sooner than expected. For the Flyers, it's been kind of a nightmare season. We've seen their coach get fired as well. And the team has won their last 2 in a row. We'll see whether or not they can make it 3 and if they can start that climb, right? It's tough to make that climb. As people have pointed out, and I'm aware, that when a team falls that far out of the playoffs, they have a poor record, it is really difficult to catch the teams ahead of you because usually they will keep putting up points the way they have at the start of the season, and so you have to put together an incredible run to catch up. So for Philly, it's going to be tough, but if they get Ellis back, if that blue line shapes up, and if Farabee can come back sooner rather than later, maybe they've got a shot. Arizona, a team that does not have a shot at the playoffs. I apologize to any Coyotes fans who are getting ready for playoff tickets for 2022. It's not happening. Dzingel and Chychrun have both been ruled out for this week, minimum, that they're going to be out. Both of them have upper body injuries. Beagle, who was seen on crutches, he has a lower body injury, and he's seeking a second opinion. Usually if a player's seeking a second opinion, it means the first opinion could be surgery. Or he may be seeking a second opinion that would allow for surgery. We just never know with players anymore. So, Jay Beagle being out is too bad because he's been playing some good hockey for Arizona lately. And after what he went through in Vancouver last season, it's kind of nice to see him out there playing. And one thing with Arizona, they're not winning a lot, but there are players on the team who seem to be enjoying themselves and enjoying this opportunity to get that spotlight at least a little bit. Boyd being one of them too, and so injuries are a problem with Arizona, the same as they are in a lot of other places. Speaking of which, St. Louis, who I did the video on today, added since then, Falk has officially been activated, as has Bozak, although Bozak may end up not being in, but Falk may be. And Perron has officially been moved to LTIR, which leaves me scratching my head because they could have done that a while ago. He can come off the LTIR after the next 3 games are done. If they'd moved him to LTIR sooner, wouldn't that have given them cap space? Again, every team has capologists. Every team has somebody who's telling the GM, hey, so here's what you need to do to maximize your cap space going forward. And when to put somebody in LTIR is very likely a part of that as well. San Jose, so rounding out the news regarding injuries, LeBanc is out for at least a week or 2. With an upper body injury, and Balcers, who has a lower body injury, has the same time frame for his return. And that means I'll be sad because I won't get to call Rudolph's Balcers' name out in reviews. And I like LeBanc. I think LeBanc's a good player, and so we'll see how San Jose does without them. San Jose has shown this season that when they have issues and there's guys out of the lineup, the guys who jump in are pretty good. And I'll just go ahead and throw a shout out here. Barabanov. He's played really well for them this year. I'm not sure what it is with San Jose, but Barabanov's been good. So maybe he jumps up and gets some more points with these guys out. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.